to AstroEnergy with astrologer angel Shelley Overton. Hello and welcome to the May 29th, 2018 edition of the AstroEnergy Astrology Show. My name is Shelley Overton and I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. And I'm very happy to be here with you today, and I hope it's lovely where you are. It's actually pretty sunny and not out today, believe it or not. I am amazed because we've had so long of this weather that's been pretty rainy and gross. Although I can't say that it's not going to. I'm looking over here at the weather and it's got lightning. It's like the rest of the week is just copy and paste, 85, 84, 86, 87, 86. So it's going to be a little bit rainy, but at least we get the mornings with the sun, right? So look on the bright side. That's a good thing. Anyway, we've got a lot to talk about today. Of course, we've got all the weather, and we're going to talk a little bit about the full moon. And honestly, I haven't even had a spare minute to look. The full moon was 8 degrees of Sagittarius, and 10 minutes. And we are at 8 degrees and 31 minutes. So we just had the full moon, like literally a few minutes ago. I'll look here and tell you exactly when, at 10:20 a.m. So just 40 minutes ago, it was completely full. So I don't know if you probably can't see it on the other side of the world. You can see it. But actually, yeah, it would be the other side where it's dark. So, well, at least we have the sun in Gemini, and that's making everything very happy and lively and chatty today. So hopefully we'll be pretty chatty and everything will go smoothly because, of course, Mercury rules Gemini. And with the sun in Gemini, we're going to have to figure out what's going on with Mercury. Well, you know what's going on with Mercury. Mercury's at 29 degrees of Taurus, and that means that he's moving into Gemini today at 7:49 p.m. So before he goes in, though, we'll have a moon in conjunct Venus, and then he goes, so really there's only the full moon at 10:20 this morning Eastern. 6:30 p.m. has the moon in conjunct to Venus, which will mean issues with mom tonight and something going on in home arenas because Venus is feminine in the sign of Cancer, so home and family, moon in Sagittarius, travel. Interestingly, my daughter is visiting her dad who is out of the state right now, and so hopefully everything will go well with that. I'm going to just keep a good thought, but it will involve home, family, women, and in conjunct is 150 degrees apart, so it's not always, well, it's just my least favorite aspect. It's a difficult aspect, and so you can expect that things you're not really wanting might happen in that aspect. So anyway, we also do have a grand trine in water today with Venus at 12 degrees Cancer, Neptune at 16 Pisces, and Jupiter at 15 Scorpio. This is going to go on for a little bit because even though Venus doesn't spend real long amounts of time in the sign, she will be there fairly long. And of course, Jupiter and Neptune will be there for quite a while. So Venus, let me just look here. Yeah, I think she's actually going to, hang on a second. Is it Venus? Yeah, it is Venus. Huh. Okay. Oh, there we are. I'm sorry. It's like, that can't be. It's about 30 days she's in the sign, and I was looking at the wrong planet in my ephemeris. I've just been running around right before the show came on, so I'm a little bit scattered. I apologize, but, doing this weather usually grounds me and gets me into what we're talking about today. But a grand trine, planets are 120 degrees away from each other all around the Earth. So in other words, if you took the sky around the Earth and flattened it out, we would have Venus over on one part and 120 degrees around the circle, which is 1/3. Or on the other side is Neptune, and then right in between the two on the other third is Jupiter. So we are surrounded by these energies that mostly are beneficial. I'll just use that one. was trying to go for something a little bit more fancy, but it didn't work. Anyway, Venus in Cancer is about desire and femininity and women. And of course, the way you express your femininity in Cancer is the home and family. So women around the home, like I said a minute ago. And then Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is also desire, but it is like Venus on steroids. So where Venus says, oh, that's really pretty, Neptune says, no, that's beautiful, and we have to run with it, and we have to own it. And it's just much more of an intense energy when it comes to desire. So it rules your vision for your life. It's what you desire as an overarching view of what you want in your life. So in the sign of Pisces, the sign it rules, it is really drawing us into a Piscean world and saying, it's about the vision, but it's also about the story, and it's also about where we want to express like a spiritual side of ourselves. It's where we are more intuitive and really where we break down the boundaries between ourselves and other people. So it can be like a chameleon. And the chameleon takes on the energy of whatever it's around and expresses out that beautiful coloring of whatever is behind it. So that's the energy of Pisces. And cooperation is going on around the family, around the home, with Venus in Cancer. But then we also have Jupiter in Scorpio, and he's retrograde right now still for another 2 degrees. He gets direct at 13 degrees. So he has 2 more degrees to go. So he is in retrograde in trine to Neptune, in trine to Venus. And he is about movement. He's about transformation. He's about seeking out adventure and new horizons, and also movement, like moving from one place to another. In the sign of Scorpio, it is about our psychology. And so all of them together are saying, okay, what is it? And especially Jupiter retrograde, he wants to go back over something we've already done. It's about the psychology of our own nature as women and what we see as a vision for the future and how we intend to take action on that. We may even have an opportunity to move, or someone saying, no, I need you to change things so that this can be a great learning experience and we can move forward with this energy or this situation. And so it is about expressing, from the Jupiter standpoint, it's expressing on a global level. It's a transformative, transactional energy, which means it touches the masses. Neptune is also that way because Neptune is such a slow-moving planet. It takes a great deal of time to really get a point across and really lets us dig in deep and find what it really means and how it really plays out in our world. And then Venus, she is interpersonal. This is more about she will interact with others, like siblings or relationships, women in relationships, or a mom. So it's a combination. It's really, we're seeing how we want to express our feminine nature in our environment, how that translates to nurturing, which is Cancer, and what the vision is surrounding the feminine side of our lives, and bringing that into the vision of everyone, not just men, but it is touching the greater body. And that's why we are seeing all this kind of female power movement coming out right now. Is a great grand trine going on, and it's been going on for a little while here. I want to say last week, or maybe just before last week, we had the moon over in this position when it was in Cancer. So I can look it up, and I'll tell you, because, once I mention something, I feel to be giving you the full picture. The 19th of May is when it was, so 10 days ago. And that triggered also the same energy around home and family movement. And again, I have that touching my life personally with regards to my daughter and home and the whole thing about being in another place or being far from home, which you can also see this energy taking you far from home, or maybe even giving you the idea to move, or giving you a chance to go visit someone, because Jupiter is about acting out and moving in the vagabond of the zodiac. So, and the other thing is there be some energy around real estate, which is, Jupiter, or strong around Jupiter. And then, of course, today the moon is in Sagittarius, which is also selling a house. And again, that also pertains to me, as my landlord is trying to sell their house, and not this house, but theirs, which is 2 doors down. They were showing it yesterday evening. So there's also that energy out and about for the next couple of days with the moon in Sagittarius. Also, Mercury at end degrees of Taurus. Again, Taurus is investments and money. So having Mercury at the end degree of Taurus is kind of a culmination of the idea around personal investment or personal finances, and also your personal value. What do we think of ourselves in a material sense, and do we feel that we're getting the monetary gain that we need in our lives? And is it a true reflection of who we are as people and what our personal value is? Again, moon in Sagittarius can also mean that there's an opportunity with the opposition, because right now moon is opposite, just opposite, about to go out of opposition to Mercury. But it is, of course, with the full moon directly opposite the sun. So as Mercury moves into Gemini tonight, we're going to see Mercury in its own sign. And it means that we're moving from thinking about stability and structure and saving and having true reliability of goods, which is Taurus. We're going to be going into Gemini, which means that we could see electronics once again have some issues, because it is an air sign. It rules appliances. It rules electronics. And Mercury is about concepts and is the item, and this might be more so this particular time with the Sun in Gemini and Mercury in Gemini, is this item truly giving us what we need out of it? So if something breaks in the near future because of that Mercury going to Gemini, and again, Mercury can also be the energy of accidents. And I definitely subscribe to the idea that there are no accidents, that things happen for a reason. And so when when Mercury moves into Gemini, there is an energy of the culmination of the Taurus energy and expression of that, and then moving into a new energy. So it's like what we were thinking about during Mercury and Taurus now is able to move to the next house. So this is going to be a little more complex to you, but I'm going to explain it because it's a trick that I use when I look at charts sometimes. Money. When you have planets moving through one sign, it triggers energy around an issue. So say Mercury right now in the chart, the natural chart for in Orlando, has Mercury at 29 Taurus up in the house of career. That means you may be going, well, am I getting the money I need for my career? And is my career something that makes me feel secure? Is it something tangible? And where's the money coming from? These are your thoughts. You're thinking all these thoughts about money and career. When you put that house as the first house of the zodiac, the next house after it is the house of money. So when Mercury moves out of that particular house or out of that sign, it's going to culminate in giving you an awareness of what you've been thinking about as it was going through Taurus. So, of course, we're thinking about money, and it could be anywhere in your chart. You could be thinking about the tangible, like if it were, say, in my third house, I might be thinking about, am I going to make money from a book I'm writing? And then it moves into the next house, into Gemini, into Cancer, and that's when I may see money that will come from something I've done out of the home, because that's the transition. So it's so many layers in astrology where you build up not just the house, but the sign and the placement and how it interacts with other planets. And, I want to encourage you that if you are new to astrology and you're learning it, that just learn the signs and what sign has which planet as a ruler. And when you learn the ruler and when you learn the sign, they're the same energy, because the rulership means that it's channeling the energy of that sign and vice versa. So whenever we see those two different items, the sign and the planet, we can infer that that sign is influencing us this way, And then the planet goes through and it has influence. So those two together create this whole story around what's going on. And then you can take it a step further into the chart, and the chart has a natural rulership of each house. But as you rotate it, it has the house rulership, and then it has the rulership, the natural one, and the one that is yours for when you were born. So it's so many layers. But once you understand the rulership of a house, which is, again, first house is Aries. Aries is synonymous with Mars. So know those, and then it's a game of laying over the different signs and planets, but you know the attributes already. So that can kind of help you, I hope. Anyway, as Mercury goes into Gemini now, we're going to really culminate the energy that we've been seeing with what we've been thinking around money. And that may mean that you'll get some money, and that's a good thing. And then Mercury moves into Gemini, which means you're going to start to speak up about things you're thinking about. You may have had some ideas around retail items with Mercury and Taurus, and now it's in Gemini, so you're going to start telling people about it. Hey, do you think you'd be interested in this? Would you be interested in that? And then that could bring you other people who are aware and maybe interested in what you're trying to sell. The other thing is Gemini is very much a social energy, so we're going to be out there being more social. We're going to be more chatty. We're going to be talking about our ideas. Right now, Sun's in Gemini, so happy birthday to all my Gemini listeners. And Mercury is going to go in your sign, which can make you stay up at night because Mercury is a thinking planet, and in Gemini, one of the signs it rules, it's going to be very aware of energy. That can also mean that you're going to feel a little anxiety. The air signs translate energy through air and electricity, and nerves. So you may be a little more on edge, and that may mean you're picking up energy from those around you, and it can be a little anxious making. So I'm just going to give you that heads up, and it can also make our minds collectively, all of us, have a little bit more difficult time shutting them off because we're so engaged in electrical energy. Again, can be phones, can be radio waves, cell waves. I mean, all that electrical, and it's in the air. So that means we're a little bit more keyed into that in next month, and that can make us a little bit more on edge mentally and nerve-wise. So we have a trine from Mercury over to, I'm just double checking because sometimes to Mars. Mars is at 4 degrees. It's also in trine to the sun today. So that is also adding to your ability to not sleep because, again, just intense energy around electricity, around picking up nervous energy and energy of intention. So when we're out in public, if we feel that someone is acting in a certain way or mentally thinking in a certain way, we're picking up on that. And if that's adverse to what we normally feel is a comfort zone, then we're going to not necessarily feel good in our bodies, and we might have a headache. We can have a migraine. I watch a lot of YouTube for entertainment, not TV, and I see a lot of YouTubers are talking about having migraines a lot lately, and that's Mars in Aquarius, because Mars in Aquarius is about that electrical energy and thinking, and we tend to pull a lot of the air energy, thoughts of other people, radio towers, all the things I just mentioned, all types of bandwidth pools in our minds. It's kind of the way station, so to speak, of your body. And as they come in, it comes into our head. So it isn't surprising to me at all to feel like you are a little stressed out or it's kind of stopping up in your mind. And I think that headaches are a physical manifestation of what we're trying to resist or what we are resisting. And so if you get a headache, look, thoughtfully and, outside of yourself, so to speak, at what it is that's going on in your life and where you may feel like you're either out of control or you're angry or energetically out of alignment with what's going on from your perspective. And that may give you a clue as to why you're getting the migraines. And honestly, you might just be getting a migraine because you're picking up on electrical energy that's out there right now, and there's a lot of it. So maybe it's time to pull back a bit from TV and radio and things like that, cell phones. Although, honestly, with Mars in Aquarius, you're going to probably want to be on them more. With Mercury in Gemini and Sun in Gemini, it's just going to enhance your interest in them. And I tell you, I have pretty strong Uranus in my chart in Virgo, which of course is a Mercury sign. And I look at my phone all day long on Instagram because it makes me feel grounded. And having that awareness of the flow of life and the stream that's coming through grounds me. So if you feel that way, being on your electrical devices might be okay, but I would recommend putting them farther away. Like I keep mine on a bedside table, which is not very far away at night, but I have a curtain that I pull and it comes between me and the phone, and I think that's a good thing. But I keep music on at night. It's kind of like something that relaxes me and something to sleep by. So, that's my excuse for keeping my phone near me. Anyway, we've got Pluto at 20 degrees Capricorn still, and of course that means that it's in trine to Mercury. And so for at least today, we're going to have Mercury in an Earth sign and Pluto in an Earth sign, and then with Saturn at 7 Capricorn also. So thoughts are more strict and tangible and reliable and faithful, and all those good virtues that we think of as being solid and reliable, basically. So that's going on today. Mercury at the end degrees of Taurus may mean that we are wrapping up documents, legal items today, and then it's already kind of a fait accompli, which means it's a done deal. And then tomorrow we're going to start new projects because Mercury has our minds popping off the walls, just going, hey, what about this and what about that? So, Uranus is the only one I haven't talked about today. So Uranus is at 0 degrees 42 minutes of Taurus. And so that means that, again, it's it's bringing out into the open, because Uranus likes to illuminate and think about and analyze and demystify and all those wonderful sciencey terms, whatever is attracting its attention. In Taurus, what's attracting its attention is money and investment, because that's what it is, and also agriculture and food. And I can tell you, I went out to dinner last night with my family, and my son was there, and I was late getting there because I was in another business meeting across town, lost track of time, and got there about 15 minutes late, and they were in the middle of a conversation about stem cells or cell research into creating artificial or man-made beef or something like that. It's taking cells and growing meat from cells. And of course, nature does that automatically. And, I've got my Virgo opinion about that. But I stepped right into that conversation about science, technology, and food. And so I thought, yeah, that's Uranus and Taurus, very strong coming in right now. So we're starting to see alternative food ideas, things like that. It's going to be going on for a while. And I think it also, on one hand, sorry about that. On one hand, we have food being altered, ideas being infused into the agricultural and food world. And then on the other hand, we also will be seeing how towards the end of Uranus and Taurus, how we might not want that. So it's kind of like whenever the planet goes in, especially Uranus, when it goes in, it's all excited and new and fresh ideas come in. And then we test them out and we see what happens when it's to the middle degrees, the middle 10 degrees. And then at the end, we see a culmination of that. And what do we want to keep? What do we want to get rid of? How is it working? Is it something that's healthful or not helpful? And will we stick with it? So it's kind of a whole process as planets go into a sign. And every planet in a sign does that. It goes through the first degrees, the newness, the settling in, and then the culmination, moving on to the next. So It's just, birth, life, and death. And so we'll see what happens over the next few years with that. And then the final thing I wanted to discuss was the full moon in Sagittarius. A lot of people are getting out of school now, and full moon in Sagittarius is the culmination of education and spirituality, traveling, and what was that word? I just lost the word. Spirituality. There you go. Also spirituality. It's opening us up and expanding us and culminating, because whenever the planets get to end degrees or whenever they are full, in a sense of the moon, that's when things come to their fruition. It's, the waxing moon is the moon getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so it's building our attention to it. It's building our awareness of it. And at the peak of brightness, we are opposite the sun, but we are fully able to speak on our own behalf about whatever energy the moon is in. And so it is like a back and forth with the moon and the sun. As the moon is full, it shines that light and makes us totally aware of this energy. So this energy is Sagittarius. It's about travel. It's about freedom. And it's about looking to higher self and understanding. So that is where we're at today. And then as it wanes, it goes back down. Excuse me. As it goes back down, then it starts to pull away from the energy that the full moon gave us. And so it's also a time for more resting and getting ready, of selling things off, of, ending of whatever energy is where the moon is at the time of waning. So it's going to be waning in Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus. I don't know where it's full next month. It might be Gemini. But we're going to kind of wane down through some of the older energies that we've been really experiencing a lot in the last few years, which is Capricorn and Aquarius. The moon is pulling back in those areas. So anyway, it would be interesting to have you look at what happens as the moon gets smaller and smaller on the way to the new moon, and where you're feeling maybe, actually, I would say, I personally think I would feel more energized with less of the moon making me emotional. I've got the moon in the first house, so it makes me quite emotional at times. And I'm honestly so happy it's out of Scorpio, because almost every time it goes into Scorpio, I cry. And that's not a fun thing for me. So anyway, Sagittarius is actually pretty positive for my chart, and I really like moon in Sagittarius. It's very lively, ambitious, exciting, fun-loving energy. If you have a chance to go out tonight and do something fun, I would do it. If you have a chance to go out, and I know it's really at the end of a 3-day weekend, so now we're back in work, but it's too bad that the full moon in Sag didn't fall on a Friday, because it would have been a really fun energy over the last 3 days of the Memorial Day weekend. Okay, so anyway, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and take our calls and see what we have for the callers. And welcome back. You are listening. My voice is cracked. Sorry about that. You are listening to the AstroEnergy Astrology Show on Blog Talk Radio, and my name is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. If you are interested in getting a reading, you can get me at astrologerangel.com and also angeliczodiac.com. And I do vlog and blog. I have a YouTube channel, and you can find that. It's not my name, but if you type in Astrologer Angel or Artful Energy or AstroEnergy, any of those will come up. And also, I wanted to say before we get back, I have a friend online, and she has her own web podcast, and she's a really awesome lady, and she just switched channels to a new company, and her daughter started the channel. It's called inflowradio.com, and my friend's name is Venus Andrecht, and so she has a show, Dear Venus, and it's on Tuesday, so it's today, and it's on at 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific. So if you get a chance, go on inflowradio.com, and she'll be there live at 5 o'clock Pacific, or Eastern, and 2 Pacific. So if you give her a little lovin', that would be really awesome. I'd appreciate it, because she's a pretty neat lady, and she's amazing psychic and intuitive and medium. So, and she's very unique. She doesn't do her readings like most people. She doesn't just say, oh, I feel this or that. She'll actually go into the head of people, and even people you know. So it's pretty cool, and give her some love, give her a little shout out there. And anyway, let's go take some calls. Hi, 810. Who is this?
This is Tammy.
Hi. Could you tell me how you spell that? Is that C-A-M-M-Y or C-A-M-M-I-E?
T-A-M-I-E.
Oh, I'm sorry. T-A-M-I-E. Okay, wonderful. I'm sorry. I apparently can't hear very well. So give me your birth date real quick, and your birth and time and place, and then I can look into your chart, and you can tell me what you're here for.
I was actually calling to see if you can talk to me about my grandson.
Okay, give me your birth date, place, and time, and I can take his as well. Unless you don't want to give yours at all. If you want to just do him.
It don't matter. Whichever way it works best for you.
Okay, well, if you want to just talk about him, that's fine. What's his name?
His name is Candon. T-A-N-D-O-N.
Okay. And do you have his birth information?
Yep. 11/24/2008.
Okay.
At 10:33 p.m.
Okay. And where?
Flint, Michigan.
Okay. All right. So what do you want to look into with him today?
I was just kind of wondering what you can tell me about him. He has 4 parents, 2 houses, and he seems to get himself into some trouble.
Aw. Okay. Well, let's see. He has a Leo rising, and people with Leo in their chart want to connect to people. And it may not seem like that, because he also has Chiron, which is the wounded healer in Aquarius, and the North Node in Aquarius, and Neptune in Aquarius, which makes him really detach. I can tell you Aquarius energy is very intelligent people, and he's got Mars going through Aquarius right now, and it's going to be hitting his North Node, his Chiron, and his Neptune, which means the North Node is what he's here to express. Like, he comes in with the South Node energy, which is Leo, and so he's very familiar with Leo. He feels like in past life he came in trying to understand, actually, his past life brought an understanding of connection to other people. And in this life, he's meant to transmute the need to be accepted by other people and really learn to be in his own energy, which is the Aquarius energy. And which is Aquarius's lessons, is a better way to put it. So as Mars goes through Aquarius, it's triggering a need to act out on this life lesson that he has. Okay.
Okay.
He also has Pluto transiting right now in the sky. It's at 20 Capricorn. His chart, he has Jupiter at 21 Capricorn, and he has a Venus at 14 Capricorn, which means Pluto is really triggering some fears he has. And I want to say that has he got a stronger connection to you and his grandparents?
I would like to think so. I mean,
it seems like
he lived
does.
with us when he came home, and I always joke with his mom and tell him that we had a past life. That's why I'm his advocate, I call it.
Aw. No,
He's
absolutely.
got 4 parents and 2 sisters on each side, 2 babies. So he's a big brother, and he just seems to get himself tangled up in things he shouldn't be doing.
Well,
he's an emotional kid, and
he's got Moon in Scorpio, which I do, so I totally get that. And his Moon in Scorpio means that he tells it like he sees it. And the cusp of home and family, he's kind of calling people out. Not only that, he has Mercury in Sagittarius next to his Sun in Sagittarius, next to his Mars in Sagittarius, at 2, 3, and 6 degrees, all in the house of home and family. So Sagittarius can be a difficult energy in that, yes, and he also has Pluto in Sag, but it's in the house of children. He's kind of a truth teller, and he's also someone who, I mean, I'm not going to kid you, he can't lie if he has to. But he also needs to have integrity with people and structure. And the Venus conjunct Jupiter connection you have, because that's always elderly, so that gives this generation of kids, and also the other ones who had Pluto in Capricorn, like the one born with Pluto and Capricorn, they really resonate to the grandparents, because that's what Capricorn is. So he does have a side of himself that needs the structure, and I would say that I'm not. I think that there may be almost a militaristic side that could really benefit him, and maybe down the road he would seek out something like that, something like joining the military. He's a little young for it, of course. But having some type of regiment is good for him because he has Venus in Capricorn in the Virgo house, which means he needs structure and he needs to be embraced. At the same time, his chart is complex because he's got split house, which means he's got one sign at the beginning and another sign at the end. And so it changes how he can act. So he comes into the family with a strong Scorpio, which is deeply emotional, intense, and Jupiter's there now, and it's bringing up a lot of fears around connecting and being who he is and doesn't see any value within the family. And I think that's probably part of why he's acting out right now. But as Jupiter goes into Sagittarius, it's going to hit his Mercury and his Mars, and he's going to want to be on the go. And I would tell you, a child like this is someone who needs to be physically active, and I'm assuming that his family may know this because it's always been the way he is.
He's on medicine. They just started that, but and it seems to be working. But yeah, I agree. He needs to be active.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he does good with structure and people that can give it to him. He's had some trouble with some teachers.
Yeah. Jupiter is teachers, but also Saturn in Virgo, and Virgo can be teachers also, and Saturn is restriction. So the irony is that he may end up becoming a teacher because Saturn is your career, and Virgo is teachers. The other thing, like I said before, and that just kind of reinforces it for me, is there's a strong There's a strong military connection with him. So I would even guess that he may end up going into the military at some point because I think he has an attraction to that. I think that way of structuring resonates him, and it's also being of service. Saturn in Virgo is the service sign. So for him to go into the service, I wouldn't be surprised. I got chills all over with that one. But what he does, I mean, honestly, as an astrologer, every sign has meaning, and we tend to think that there is only one way of looking at life on this earth, but the children coming in now really want to show us new ways of being and new ways of looking at things, and he definitely has some need to do that. He has Neptune in Aquarius. His ideal is a higher understanding of things. He's very intuitive, if not straight up psychic. He's got Uranus in Pisces, which is very channeled energy and aware, and he has Neptune transiting that right now. I mean, there's so much going on in his chart. It's just lit up. But I want to say he's going to find his way. Give him some time. But Saturn and Capricorn, it's in the house of children. And there's also a woman that's being a little bit difficult with him. Do you know of someone like that?
Yeah.
Someone who's being a little bit more hard on him?
Yeah.
I can tell you, Mars in Aquarius is not going to take that for very long. They're going to act out. Anytime you have, and I'm saying everybody has Mars in Aquarius right now, but his planet or his energy in Aquarius is going to want to rebel. And what he's doing that for is he came into this earth innately knowing his own path and his own mind. And he's come into kind of the end degrees of a world that is very much authoritarianism. And so I find it kind of ironic that he is attracted to hierarchy structures. Like, I think he will be interested in the military, but he's also of a mind that is more aware of higher understanding of things that we don't get yet in the way we've been dealing with things in a paternalistic or hierarchical sense. So he really is coming in to show us a broader sense of how things can be when we trust our own inner voice. And every time he expresses his inner voice, definitely Moon in Scorpio, he's very passionate about what he intuits. And when he expresses it, he gets restricted and pushed back. So part of his life is about expressing who he is and truly feels, but in an environment that doesn't really get that, he's going to be in trouble a lot because he's trying to say, I see things in a different way, but you don't want to hear it. And I'm trying to act in a passionate way, but you keep saying, no, that's not acceptable. And so he's running into walls. And there's going to be a break in a couple of years. Definitely, I don't envy you because you're going to have the puberty is coming, and that's when hormones really kick in. And honestly, I would encourage ROTC, and that could really give him a sense of purpose. And honestly, with the Leo rising, I got more chills out of that. He needs to feel part of a group, even though Aquarius tends to want to be independent person in amongst the whole. They want to express themselves but still be part of a group. It is the Leo axis and the Leo Aquarius. He wants to be part of something bigger, but do what he does within that on his own. That's the best way I can express it to you.
Yep, and you're right. He's a part of the Cub Scouts now, and he hasn't been in the past. But for the last 2 years, he has, and he likes it. But he doesn't like the school atmosphere with the other kids. He likes the kids in the Cub Scouts. So I see that. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. And
I appreciate you taking my call.
Oh, my pleasure. Feel free to call me privately because there's a lot of stuff in his chart that I could go on, but I do have to take other callers. But thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
Yep. I will. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Let's take 202. Is this Kay?
Hello.
Hi, Kay. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. What's going on today?
Well, it was a long weekend. Some energies I was actually very much relating to with your, I think you were kind of just talking about the Uranian energy, kind of random, like physical, like not control of it, kind of. And that happened to me. I went to a wedding this weekend, and I saw this guy used to date at a wedding. It was very awkward, and I was like, oh, God, I hope he didn't feel that. But, yeah.
Why did you feel awkward?
Yeah. Because he was with someone else.
It's someone you had dated? Oh.
Yeah, but he's also still contacting me. So it was just like, I was like, hi, okay, gotta go.
That was awesome that you got to see exactly where he was and where he's coming from.
Oh, wait, what do you mean? Please explain.
Well, you said that it was awkward because he was with someone else, and someone who's contacting you, yet there's another person, so it shows you that this is someone who's not totally available right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, so he kind of showed you who he was. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. I just wish I were a little bit cooler, my reaction, but it's probably a little bit more magnified in my mind. What'd you do? Did you just walk away, or did you say something, or what happened? Well, yeah, just the start of the conversation was, all I could say was just a little electric or glitchy, like, oh, so, like, it just didn't feel natural. But then, it got more natural, and then I saw other people, so I had to go say hi to them. So
probably, I think in situations like that, sometimes we feel like they can read our every emotion and every thought. And then you're like, oh my God, they totally see right through me and know exactly what I'm thinking. And I totally get you, because I feel most awkward when I feel that, that sensation that someone sees right through me and can tell I'm feeling
and
upset about something.
And I think he does. I believe there's some aspects where you looked before where you were like, oh, I don't know if it was Jupiter landing in my 12th or some kind of 12th house something where they are able to have a little bit of insight, but got to move forward.
Yep. It's Uranus and Scorpio in your 12th. That's what it is. It's that I am so transparent, but I don't want to be. Everybody just stand back.
It drove me crazy. But I met another gentleman at the wedding. And I would like you to look at him. He's an interesting fellow.
Okay.
Probably no
Hang on
one takes seriously, but.
Oh, really?
No.
Well, what's his first name? Oh, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, it was a wedding, but who knows?
Yeah.
We'll call him Mass, M-A-S-S.
Okay. All right. So, what's his birthday? Do you know?
Yep. So October 29th.
Okay. Oh, Scorpio guy.
Yep.
What year?
79.
Okay. And probably don't know the time?
No, don't know the time, but in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Okay. That's why he's Mass.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see here. I'll put it in and see if I can do it. It's going to take away the date. Okay. 10/29/79. Let me put it in again. My stupid glitchy program.
All good.
There we go.
I'm glitchy on the other end, so it's probably not good.
That's funny. Okay, so let me just put the two of you together. I'm going to do a chart of what's going on with him now, and then the chart with the two of you to see where your connections are. So we'll start out with the two of you. So you both have a Saturn in Virgo, which means you share a similar life purpose. So there's probably some really strong connection there. His Jupiter is in Virgo on the North Node, and you also have a North Node in, your North Node is in the same house, but it's in Leo. So I'm just seeing where his connections are. His Jupiter is pretty close to your Jupiter. Wow, within a degree. So you have the same love of education. His Pluto, because you're so close. Your birthday is March 5th, 1980, and his is October 9th, 79. So you're only 6 months apart, which makes a lot of connections with the slower moving planets, and also can bring in some oppositions where it's needed, because that also creates attraction. So you've got his moon is in Aquarius, and your Mars is at 19 Leo, which is directly opposite his 17-degree moon. So there is like this.
Oh, wait, no Mars in Leo, Virgo.
Oh, I'm sorry. His Mars
is
in Leo.
His is in Leo.
His Mars. His Mars. I went in the wrong house. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but your moons are both in air signs, and actually your moon is trine to his moon. Your moon is in Libra. Thank you for pointing that out. So, so he also, kind of like the last caller with her grandson, the opposition of moon in Aquarius to Mars in Leo in his chart makes him have this tug of war about belonging somewhere. Like his Mars definitely wants him to connect and belong. And I can tell you there's a chance he was having too much to drink because he felt completely energetically uncomfortable in the situation. And having Saturn in Virgo, again, the Virgo planets, he has 2 planets in Virgo plus a North Node. So it can mean that you have a bit of social anxiety going on.
Okay.
And
I was kind of having the same thing.
Were you? Yeah, he's got that too, because it's so many people, and I'm picking up all sorts of energy from everybody. And he's got 3 planets. No, I take it back. He's got 4 planets in Scorpio. 4. He's got Sun, Uranus, Venus, and Mercury. So Scorpio again. Leo and and his Mars in Leo and the Scorpio planet share the same quality of wanting to connect. But the Scorpio wants to merge with someone, and Mars in Leo wants to be the center of attention. And the reason, the reason they want to be center of attention is because it makes them feel connected. It's like, if people are paying attention to me, then I know that I'm connected to them somehow. And so there is a little bit of showmanship going on in his chart. But and this is the hard part for him. He's got Jupiter, Saturn in Virgo, and Moon in Aquarius. All of those are uncomfortable with the spotlight. So he's got kind of a tug of war going on there. And then, of course, Leo squares Scorpio, which is where his Venus and his Uranus are, squaring his Mars in Leo. So let's see what else. So his Neptune's at the same place yours is. So I can see where you have a strong connection to this guy. And like, I get that there's like something. I would say friendship. But his Mars in Leo is a committer too. He could commit, and that's nice. He has Neptune in Sag, which you have the same Neptune in Sag, so your generation needs to be on the go and doing things and, you know, having adventures. But all of the Scorpio in his chart, and you have the Libra, he has a Scorpio. Libra likes the idea of marriage and partnership, and Scorpio wants to, like, is committed to the ends of the earth to that. Like, it's about commitment for them. So the only thing is, you both have Uranus and Scorpio, and Uranus is unusual. So there's some kind of eccentric or unusual means of loyalty or connecting or being in a relationship. It's not your normal, you know, man-woman relationship. It's something different and eccentric, or at the cutting edge of something, you know, like you're interested in bringing some unusual element to the relationship. So, yeah, let me flip it around and see where you fall in his sunrise chart.
Okay.
So you're kind of a trigger for a wounding he's had. He's got Chiron in Taurus, and you've got Chiron in Taurus. So you both have kind of a similar wounding, very, like, within a degree. It's the same wounding, and it's around money. For him, it's around money and value within a relationship. And then he has Vesta in Taurus. So what Vesta and Taurus in the House of Marriage and Partnership can do is the people he attracts in that are marriageable, and I don't know if he's been married before, but his partners can be harsh. Or, like, if you might come across to him as the person who calls all the shots. Let me just see real quick. I'm going to swap this. I want to see where his Vesta is. That's your Vesta in his house. Yeah, his Vesta's. See, you both have Vesta. Yeah, you both have Vesta and Chiron in the same spot. So for you, it's more around the romantic side where you can be wounded. But for him, it's in the actual committing and being in the partnership, and he doesn't feel valued in the relationship when he gets into a serious relationship. But that's all part of his story. You know, he's got all that Scorpio. Jupiter's there right now trying to wake him up to his own personal value. So it's just part of the story. Do you have any other questions?
No, I guess I'll just see how things go. I guess
has he asked you out?
Yes. Yeah, like literally the next day. Yeah, the next day.
Oh, good. Wow. Well, Neptune and Sag, you know, yeah, I mean, the Neptune and Sag, he might have difficulty with breaks. So if he does drink and that's his thing, I mean, he might have just been trying to soften the uncomfortable aspect of the situation. But if you start to notice
I do that all day.
Yeah. If you start to notice, like, if you go out with him and he's like kind of in that, then I would just take that at face value, and he probably is having issues with alcohol in his chart.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha.
But there are connections to you. So as it progresses, let me know. Call in, you know, in the future, and we can look into them again and see what's going on, you know, with transits down the road, if it's still there. Okay.
And do you see, like, that type of thing able to come into my chart right now? I just feel like such loss. I don't know if it's the Pluto moon square, but everything
no, it's
is like
Jupiter and Scorpio retrograde. It's just that
yeah,
you know, we just
in
had
the house
the moon
of friendships, and it felt so. Ugh.
Oh, well, yeah, it is there, but definitely having, like, when Jupiter goes direct, which is, I think, July, goes direct the second week of July. I'm going to double check it for you. That'll loosen things up, because when Jupiter goes direct in Scorpio, yeah, it's the 11th of July. You're going to feel better. It's going to be better for you. Yeah, because right now it's going back over Scorpio issues, which are psychological, and it's in your first house, which is sense of self. Jupiter can be transformation, transition, so you may feel a sense of loss. And for you, it's right there between Uranus and the Sun, and it's about who you are. I think, honestly, there's also a sense of loss around certain aspects of your identity and your ego,
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's like after I went to that event with all of, my friends from years ago, it was sort of like, oh my God, I have no one. Like, that's literally how it felt. There's no attachment to these people anymore. And I saw the old guy and things are weird with him, no attachment to him.
Yeah.
New guy, who knows? It just felt like, wow. Like, I just kept saying that, And then just kept remembering I have myself, but it just really did feel like a huge loss.
Yeah,
I didn't know what that was.
The moon in Scorpio was really, really, like I said, moon in Scorpio makes me cry, and I totally get it. I mean, I was crying for no reason. I don't know why I'm crying, but, it's just one of those moon in Scorpio things. So, yeah,
it's intense.
I'm sorry.
Well, thank you for that clarity and insight.
You're welcome. Yeah, my pleasure.
I appreciate it.
Okay, well, you take care. Give yourself a hug for me.
I will. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye, Kate. Take care. Bye. Okay, I'm going to squeeze one last call in. 248. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Shelley?
Good. Who is this?
My name's Jennifer.
Jennifer, have you called before?
You know what? It would have had to have been 7 years ago when you were on a different show.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so we're going to have to do a new chart for you. So let's just get that going real quick. What's your birthday?
April 3rd, 1970.
Okay. And do you know time and place and all that good stuff?
Yep, 2:55 a.m.
Oh, you're going to have to repeat that because I just had the lady thing. I have 1 minute left in my ear. I'll take your reading after the time, but I couldn't hear because she was talking to me. So say it again. I'm sorry.
It's okay. 2:55 a.m.
Okay. And where?
In Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
Okay. Awesome. Let's just put that in on bottom. Okay, wonderful. So what can I do for you today?
Well, I'm going to be without a job in about 5 days, and I'm wondering, but I've had some good luck lately, so I'm wondering career-wise, is there anything on the horizon, or should I be looking for something different? Because I've had spotty employment history. So I get jobs, I keep them, I lose them.
Well, you've got Neptune and Sag up in the house of career. Neptune is your ideal situation in Sagittarius. It wants to keep moving. And you've got Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius, just about your midheaven, but it's retrograde right now. So that's what all the career stuff is. I hope you have a little, well, I'm not going to say that. You have Venus. You have Venus in the house of work right now, but it's in Cancer. So hang on one second. Sorry, I just had to clear my throat. Venus in Cancer is in the house of home. You also have Mercury and Sun going through your house of home. So there's kind of a highlight there. But Jupiter, like I said, July 11th, Jupiter goes direct. That will make him move forward over your midheaven, and it will help with your career. What we see is there's something about your Neptune in your house of career that you not have been expressing. Okay, I'm throwing this out really quickly, and I know there's a lot of symbology, and you're probably going, what? But Saturn is your life in Taurus. It's in the third house. You're a writer. Uranus is there now. You're going to be drawn more and more to writing something. That's a huge energy for that house. Uranus is the expressing energy. It wants to, its ideas, its invention. So you're definitely channeling some information, and I would say there's a lot of J.K. Rowling channeling a book kind of thing going on in your chart right now. and Jupiter, when it goes direct in July, is going to really shift. And I think that you do have you have a lot of opportunities coming, but I think that they're far away. I think that you may have to move to get them. And your Neptune likes to be on the go. So what do you think of that? Are you up for a move?
I like the channeling writing thing. The move thing I don't like because I've got young kids, and I used to move around a lot as a kid, and I don't want to do that to my children.
I get it.
I'm sort of stuck. I'm not going to say stuck here. I enjoy my life here. So, but writing you can do anywhere, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. In writing, if you start to look at it as a career, which, I mean, I'm not sure what your career is, the writing, I'll just give you real quick. It's education, because it's the third house of elementary education, so it's little children. And Gemini energy loves little kids. You've got Mercury, Venus, Saturn, and Mars all in the house of little kids and education. You've got Aries down there as well, which is emergency workers and salesmen and contract or construction. You've got Taurus, which is gardening. These are just what those planets and signs help you with. Saturn and Taurus can be gardening. It can be permaculture. It can be money. It can be CPA. I know I have 3 people in my family who have Saturn and Taurus, and, you're really good with money. And so putting it in the house of writing, write about money, write about, whatever. You can blog, you can even go beyond blog. I do all the things I said. Like I do blogging, vlogging. I have a podcast. I mean, you could do any of those, and that gets attention. So if you're looking to make money, then you would pick the topic that you want to talk about, get a website, make sure you have a website, and then, go on and start promoting that. And that's how you could have something out of the home if you want to. If you don't want to have out of the home, education, elementary education is one option, or get a CPA. I don't know what kind of education you have. You could do CPA, you could do counseling, or what is the word? Not counseling. When you help other, like coaching, that's
financial. I've got a financial planning designation, and I was in banking for a long time. So
there you go.
Yeah, I would love to write and educate kids about money.
There you go. That's exactly it then. That's it. That's right there. I mean, you've got Mercury and Venus and Aries, which is little kids. It's in the third house, which is little kids. You have Saturn and Taurus and Mars in Taurus. Mars rules Aries. Mars is in Taurus, though, in action. And your Mars is on the cusp of your home, so it could be a home business. But what I see is there's definitely a connection to foreign energy. So if you potentially want to promote it to other countries, that would be that connection. But if it isn't, I mean, put her on the cusp, there is an opportunity to move. And I know that you don't want to, but there is an underlying opportunity. Let's just put it that way. Okay?
All right. Thank you, Shelley.
You're welcome. Good luck to you. Please call in and let us know how everything turned out, okay?
Okay.
But July's really good for you. July's really good. So, and do the writing if you can.
I will.
Okay.
I promise.
Take care.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for the call. Bye, Jennifer. Bye. All right. That's the end of the show this week. Thank you so much for joining us, and lots of stuff always happening. So we'll see you again next week. Bye. Take care. Thanks for stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net at ironwoodrain.com.
Precision medicine holds great promise for treating genetic diseases, such as certain types of cancers. To drive progress, Harvard Business School Executive Education has developed a new program, accelerating innovation in precision medicine, which brings together leaders from business, science, medicine, and technology to explore new models for advancing personalized medicine. The program takes place on the Boston campus in September. Learn more by clicking the banner or visiting hbs.me/precision. That's hbs.me/precision.
Since Buffalo Wild Wings is always open late, here are a few things you'll enjoy. Buzzer beaters, wings in 21 signature sauces and seasonings, and great deals on food and beer. Grab select domestic draft beer starting at $3.75. $4 shareables like street tacos, fried pickles, chili queso dip, mozzarella sticks, and roasted garlic mushrooms, and deals on select liquor and house cocktails. Phew, that's a mouthful. Catch all of the late night action. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. Offers and participation vary. Please drink responsibly. Void where prohibited.
To subscribe, please click the picture of Shelley on the right or the red button below.